What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Catch Up. Of course, your number one place to catch up on crypto. Now, we just got the PPI data back, which is the Producer Pricing Index, which gives you an idea of what inflation is looking like from more of a producer standpoint. And of course, this is extremely important information, so let me just jump straight into it, show you what this data was, and then I'll come back and explain to you a little bit exactly what this means for the market. Now, what we can see here is that on the year over year, what people were expecting to see was a 2.7% increase in PPI. And of course, what we are seeing here is that we got 2.4%, meaning that although inflation is still climbing, it's climbing slower than many analysts were expecting, which is a good thing. Now, if we jump down to the month over month, we got a 0.1% increase rather than the 0.2% increase that analysts were expecting as well. Another good thing, just going to show that inflation is climbing slower than analysts were expecting it to. Now, you may wonder, well, Tyler, why is this so important? What you need to understand is that we are at a very pivotal moment within the economy right now. We are, of course, starting to see the jobs reports coming back. We're starting to see the economy actually show the effects of all of these interest rates, and people are looking at the Fed to start cutting rates. But the Fed has made it incredibly clear. They are not going to start cutting rates until they see the effect on inflation that they want, which is getting it back towards 2%, bringing it down, maintaining it, and not giving it the opportunity to take back off to 6, 7, 8% again. That is their goal, and they don't particularly care what happens to anything else. They don't care what happens to jobs. They don't care what happens to you. They don't care what happens to me. They just want to see inflation go down. It's kind of an ego battle at this point. Now, what we know is that the only way for them to start cutting the interest rates, to start putting a little bit of taking some of the pressure off of the economy, is for inflation to start to pull back. And this is a good sign because it goes to show that that is happening. And so we are expecting now at this given point that the Fed may come out and start reducing interest rates, maybe even in the September meeting, as a result of knowing their battle against inflation could seemingly be coming towards a close. And so obviously, yes, some people do always say that, well, when interest rates do start to fall, of course, that is typically something that aligns with the stock market crashing, right? The stock market actually usually pulls back immediately, then over time climbs. And I've said here on the channel, I'm not quite sure that that's what's going to happen in crypto. I think crypto might see a tiny pullback as a result of course, the stock market pulling back because they're somewhat correlated. But at the end of the day, the reason that the stock market pulls back during a time in which interest rates first start falling is because they're cutting interest rates for a reason. Typically, earnings are going down. The economy is doing worse in general, right? These types of things which directly impact stocks themselves, their earnings, how much money they're making, how much people are spending, etc. That is directly impacting that company. Therefore, when their earnings decrease, right? Boom, stock price has to go down because their valuation decreases as earning decreases. But that's not the type of analysis that we do here in crypto to gauge value, right? And so since it is a little bit of a separation in value, I'm not convinced that we're going to see this massive crash in the world of crypto once interest rates start to pull back. I think it might even from a ratio of things, right, be a little bit less significant to what we typically see, and we could see some type of growth rather soon thereafter. And so as a result of that, I think that this is amazing news because it gets us closer to these interest rates being cut, and then possibly in a position in which we can continue on with the bull market, maybe towards the end of this year, possibly next year. Now, I do want to issue a little bit of a warning of what we are seeing, though, over the next couple days, because there's a lot. Okay, so we have PPI inflation today, CPI inflation Wednesday, which we need to pay attention to, jobless claims Thursday, retail sales Thursday, New York Fed Manufacturing Index Thursday, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index Thursday, housing starts on Friday, and consumer sentiment on Friday. Guys, as we get more and more of this information, what's going to happen is it's going to start shaping people's minds about where the economy is at right now, what it means for stocks, what it means for the general direction in which these markets are going to go. And what you need to understand is that as these reports come out, these are mini catalysts, or good or bad on either side, but there's going to be a lot of volatility in either direction as a result of all this news. PPI inflation is going to cause volatility. So is CPI, so is jobless claims, so is retail sales, because people are going to go up and down about their opinions of good, bad, etc. as they start to mold and form this opinion and thesis of where we are in the market and what they expect from the Fed coming forward. And I wanted to issue a warning and just say, listen, be careful right now. As all of this volatility happens, you're going to notice these big movements, these big spikes, and these big shifts in either direction that are going to liquidate the hell out of so many different people. And you can already start to see it coming, dude. If we actually go out to the liquidation map, let me show you this. If we go out to the liquidation map on 24 hours, just in the last day, look at how even we're starting to become with shorts and longs on either side. Now, don't get me wrong, we are still seeing more people shorting the market, expecting the price to fall, which they will then be liquidated if we do move into an upward direction. But we are starting to see people long the market again. We're starting to see these long trades open up, which is allowing liquidations to the downside as well. And when you start to see an equal balance of this nature, especially within the short term, you need to expect that this market might start jerking left and right and left and right and back and forth and up and down, because that's the way that this goes. People lose a ton in moments like these where there's heavy volatility and heavy liquidations. So be extremely careful, be extremely cautious, and I will continue to update you as this all does play out. Guys, remember, this is a brand new channel. It's only 12 days old, and we have a goal of 1,000 subscribers by October. So if you do find this this information valuable, if you do think it's something that's useful here in the morning, please do let me know, quite simply by smashing the like button so more people see it, and subscribing to the channel if you never want to miss another video. But overall, again, as I mentioned before, I will continue to update you as this does play out, but be incredibly careful. Don't fall into the trap. Stay on your toes, stick to your game plan, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, everybody.